Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show post-game on Blog Talk Radio. It is Friday, April 17th, 2015, 11 p.m. Eastern. Going to talk some Tigers today, plus a little bit of Red Wings. First off, the Tigers beat the White Sox in walk-off fashion in the ninth inning, bottom of the ninth inning, 2-1. Let's check out the scoring summary. Top of the second, former Tiger Avisail Garcia hit a solo home run to right center field. White Sox took a 1-0 lead on that. Jonas Cespedes tied up at 1 in the bottom of the fourth with a solo home run to left. A bomb. Into the sidewalk, not the sidewalk, but the walkway in between the lower section and the upper section in the left field seats, past the bullpens at Comerica Park. David Price and Jeff Samardzija each pitched 8 innings, gave up 1 run, and both ended up with a no decision. Let's go right to the bottom of the ninth. Leading off was Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, and he hit a drive to right field. Former Tiger right fielder Avisail Garcia, who, as I mentioned before, hit his home run, came forward and down and towards the line in a diagonal direction. And it looked like he was going to catch the ball, but he dropped it. And that should have been scored as an error, but Nick Castellanos could have stayed at first, but instead he trying to stretch it into a two-base, what should have been scored as a two-base error, but was scored as a double. Garcia had Nick Castellanos nailed. His throw was perfect and on time, and the tag was made on Castellanos' foot, his heel, before Castellanos even got to the bag at second. And the second base umpire called him safe. And that was a shocker because the replay clearly showed that Castellanos was out. And Robin Ventura came out to Ventura was trying to make a challenge, but it seemed like he couldn't quite prove his case because because later after the game was over, Ryan Schuling from the WBBL morning show, 107.3 WBBL FM morning show from 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, he told me in a private message that White Sox manager Robin Ventura, the Chicago White Sox, Ventura got bad info from his video, from the video replay crew at the center in New York. By the time he came back out to challenge a second time, Andrew Romine was announced as a pinch runner for Nick, and the play was considered over and dead. In other words, the White Sox and manager Robin Ventura blew the challenge. So our Tigers got a gift. And from there, catcher Alex Avila laid down a sacrifice bunt down the third base line, moving pinch runner Andrew Romine to third, setting the stage for Jose Iglesias, who lasered a single past the second baseman Gordon Beckham into center field, scoring Romine to win it for the Tigers 2-1. So, in other words, the White Sox still got hosed. But in a much different approach, the video replay crew apparently messed up the info and should have done a better job giving Ventura the replay info. So it wasn't clearly Ventura's fault. He did all he could to try to make a challenge. And he just couldn't come up with any evidence. He just didn't. He was left with no evidence from the video replay people. To make the challenge successful, legitimate. And I wonder how White Sox television play-by-play announcer Ken Hawk Harrelson reacted to that. I never got to see the highlights of this. I want to thank Ryan Schuling for the research of that blown call.
This guy gets the barrel of the back to it. I mean, look at that. You got that kind of pop the opposite way. That ball shot out of the cannon.
Turning on MLB Network right now. They have MLB Tonight on. They're showing Angels and Astros highlights right now. Angels beat the Astros 6-3 at Minute Maid Park. But anyway, Tigers win 2-1. Joakim Soria, who pitched another 1-2-3 inning when it was tied at 1 in the top of the ninth, got the win. And Zach Duke took the loss, took a tough luck loss. I still think Avisail Garcia should have caught that ball, should have caught that line drive fly ball combination drive to right. And more importantly, I thought, and almost as important as what would have been that catch, as that drop ball, evidently, I thought Castellanos was clearly out. Our Tigers got a gift, and they will take it, and so will we. I was only speaking out of fairness. With that win, the Tigers improved to 9-1. Miguel Cabrera and Anthony Gose and Nick Castellanos went 2 for 4. They scored that play in the bottom of the ninth, a double by mistake. Iglesias finished 2 for 4 with a walk-off RBI single. Alex Avila went 0 for 3, but laid down the sacrifice bunt. He's batting 190. The Tigers played without Victor Martinez, who was benched for precautionary reasons because he was wincing in every swing of his bat during the morning batting practice earlier today before the game. And I got reports that Victor Martinez is expected to be back tomorrow. I also got an update that Justin Verlander, the right-handed starting pitcher with shoulder soreness, reportedly won't return for Tuesday's start against the Yankees. Kyle Lobstein will start for Justin Verlander Tuesday. I think that's at home too. Not quite. I think that's at home too. I'm not quite sure. Gotta take a look at the schedule real quick. It's loading. Yeah, the Tigers are home against the Yankees in a 4-game set. Next Monday through Thursday. First 3 of those 4 games are start at 7:08, and Thursday's finale starts at 1:08. David Price struck out 9 batters, walked 2, and gave up 4 hits, including the earned home run. Samardzija, the former Oakland Athletic, gave up 8 hits, struck out 7, and didn't walk anybody. David Price's ERA was 0.40, and Samardzija's ERA is 4.29. Samardzija went off to a rough start with his allowing 10 runs in his first 2 games. He only allowed 1 today. Anibal Sanchez will take on Chris Sale tomorrow. Here is a preview. That game can be seen not only on Fox Sports Detroit, but also on WGN America. From Chris Vanini, or Vanini. Of MLB.com. Chris Vanini of MLB.com writes, 2 of the American League headlining Sale Sanchez duel set for Comerica Park. 2 of the American League Central's top pitchers will duel at Comerica Park on Saturday when Chris Sale and Anibal Sanchez face off in the second game of a 3-game series between the White Sox and Tigers. Sale is coming off a performance in which he allowed 1 earned run over 6 innings, while Sanchez will make his 3rd start this season, looking to rebound from a rough loss against the Pirates last time out. Sanchez allowed 5 runs in Pittsburgh. Here we go. Three things to know about this game. Number one, Saturday's contest marks the 8th day game for the White Sox in 10 played this year. They will have played 9 day contests and 11 games by the end of this weekend, with 4 night games coming on their upcoming 7-game homestand. Number 2, Sale is 2-2 with a 3.26 ERA in 8 games at Comerica Park. 5 of those appearances have been starts. And number 3, Tigers designated hitter Victor Martinez is expected to be back in the lineup after dealing with a knee issue in his career. Victor is hitting .327 with 25 home runs and 99 RBIs and 164 White Sox. So I will tweet that. All games of the 3-game set start at 1:08. And then the Tigers take on the Yankees in that 4-game set that I mentioned earlier. Then they wrap up the 10-game homestand with a 3-game set against the Cleveland Indians Friday the 24th at 7:08, Saturday the 25th at 1:08, and Sunday the 26th at 1:08. Then they're on the road in Minnesota and Kansas City. get to play the Royals for the first time this season. The Royals are trying to chase the Tigers for first place in the American League Central Division. Let's move on to the Red Wings real quick. In Game 1, the Red Wings beat the Lightning 3-2. They had to barely hold on when Peter Mrazek made 44 saves in goal. Datsuk scored 2 goals, the second of which was on the power play. Luke Glendenning's dazzling spin around a shorthanded goal capped it. Out shooting was 46-14, which was a heck of a margin in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Game 2 will be televised on NBC and CBC. It will not be televised on Fox Sports Detroit. Wings lead the series 1-0. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to get back on the ice Saturday at O'Malley Arena to try to tie their Eastern Conference first-round series with the Red Wings at 1 game apiece. Puck drop at 3 p.m. Eastern. The Lightning will be attempting to snap a 6-game losing streak in the Stanley Cup Playoffs that dates back to their Game 7 loss to the Boston Bruins in 2011 Eastern Conference Final. And an unnamed NHL.com editor on DetroitRedWings.com headlines, Lightning looking to tie series against the Red Wings. Tampa Bay missed the playoffs each of the next 2 seasons before returning in 2014 to get swept by the Montreal Canadiens in the first round. The Canadiens are playing the Ottawa Senators in the Atlantic Division Semifinals. The Lightning and Red Wings in the other half of the Atlantic Division Semifinals. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like in the Stanley Cup playoff bracket. It's divided in. It is sorted out in by division. By the teams are the playoff teams are sorted out in each of their respective divisions. Anyway, 5 of the 6 losses in the streak have come by a single goal, including 3-2 to the Red Wings on Thursday. In the series opener, the Lightning held a 46-14 shots advantage, only to be repeatedly turned back by Detroit goaltender Peter Mrazek. Tampa Bay coach John Cooper, the head coach, was undeterred Friday. He said, "We'll be ready, quote unquote, we'll be ready, we'll be swinging for the fences, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens." So not only does Peter Mrazek have to be ready, the defense had better be ready to block more shots, because the defense allowed 46 shots on goal, including those 2 goals by Brian Boyle, one of them shorthanded, and Nikita Nestorov at even strength. When the Lightning were on it, when it looked like the Lightning were on a power play type attack. The Red Wings, meanwhile, said they understand they will probably have to play a lot better if they want to take a 2-0 series lead back to Joe Louis Arena. Mrazek was dominant in his postseason debut with 44 saves, and veteran forward Pavel Datsuk had his first multi-goal playoff game since 2010. But the Red Wings got beat to the puck too often and found themselves shorthanded 7 times. The Lightning finished 0 for 7 in that game, in Game 1. Mike Babcock said, quote unquote, "We had to use our PK for 14 minutes, and that doesn't leave a lot of ice time for your 4th line to get out there. That was among the several things we have to clean up Saturday." which is tomorrow. Mrazek made 12 saves in helping the Red Wings kill all of 7 Lightning power plays. That continued a troubling trend for Tampa Bay, which led the NHL during the regular season at 3.16 goals per game, but finished in the middle of the pack with a power play that clicked at 18.8%, tied for 13th in the league. You can call in at 646-478-4837, or you can text message at 231-429-3668. Make sure you tell me who you are and what city and state you're from, whether you're calling in or texting in. Before you say anything, make sure you keep it clean too. And I want an opinion of Detroit sports too. Head coach John Cooper of the Lightning said, if you look at it, we had 14 seconds on one power play, quote, and a couple of other abbreviated power plays that counted as full chances. Looking back at it, we had favorable situations, but at times we shot when we should have passed and passed when we should have shot, unquote. Babcock said he didn't anticipate any lineup changes for Game 2, which means forward Justin Abdelkader, center, would miss another game with a broken finger. Abdelkader was supposed to be out 4 to 6 months, as I said earlier. So Abdelkader will probably miss the entire playoffs. Cooper said everyone was available for the Lightning with the exception of defenseman Jason Garrison. Oh, speaking of Abdelkader, Garrison, who has shed his non-contact jersey at practice as he works his way back from an upper body injury, he could be available when the series shifts to Detroit on Tuesday for Game 3. The Lightning have won 58% of the faceoffs in Game 1. The Red Wings, the other 41.3%. Speaking of Justin Abdelkader, he actually skated Thursday before Game 1. Said it was skating good, but maybe it wasn't a broken finger. He was just doing light practices with the team. Time's almost up here. So, again, Game 2 tomorrow at 3 on NBC and CBC, not on Fox Sports Detroit. Games 3 and 4 will be on Fox Sports Detroit, though. Tigers tomorrow at 1:08. Same for Sunday. Sanchez against Sale tomorrow. Then on Sunday, Shane Green will pitch against a starting pitcher to be determined. That does it for Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Postgame Friday, April 17th, 2015, 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm Taylor Phillips. I'll talk to you again tomorrow at either 11 or 11:30. TTFN, ta-ta for now.